Well, howdy fellers. So, working on the camper one more time, and got the this section of the roof here made, but it's not glued in place yet. I figured it's time to start working on this part, and this is where it's really stressing me out because really I never should have done this whole foamy thing. So for those of you who haven't watched the 100 most boring episodes in the world, let's see, get some lights on here. So we did a foamy construction. So this is 1-inch foam, a pink foam board stuff, and then there's a skin of plywood on top, and then of course we made our doors out of some plywood, some thin plywood, and then that foam somehow is supposed to be structural, right? Originally my whole plan was I was going to do the whole thing foamy, and then I realized quickly that when you do foam, it's really hard to secure anything to it, to hang hooks, to bolt things together, to screw things together. It's really difficult. You're basically just relying on glue. So I didn't really like that. It is really light, and this upper cabinet came out very light, and so did the back. But now I really regret it. I wish I had done it all with thin plywood and some 1x2s like I did the skin. So having all this as foam, it's not necessarily that structural. So, and then on top of that, I'm doing this fan box thingy here where I'm recessing the fan, the exhaust fan, down lower to be more aerodynamic, and mostly just so I could get it in and out of the garage without worrying about the vent fan. If it's nice and lower down in, we should be able to get it in and out of the garage. Not that it's going to be going in and out of the garage a lot, but you know, it's going to be a long time to get this thing completely skinned and built with all the doors. So it's probably going to have to come in and out a couple times to get the skin on, to get painted, to get weatherproofed. So the whole idea with that was, oh, that's kind of a neat feature. The fan is recessed and it'll be more aerodynamic and it'll kind of look cool. It'll kind of be a neat feature, but now I'm kind of regretting ever doing it because it's kind of turned into a structural worry. So basically, to kind of show you here, we've got a lot of structure going on up front between all this plywood and all the 1x3s, and all that up there is really rigid. But when we get back here, because of this box is going to be cut out, we don't have a whole lot of structure going on here. There's not going to be a whole lot of rigidity here. So I'm worried about this thing flexing in this area, especially when we have our weak point right here above the door. So I think it's just going to come apart eventually, but you know, you only live once. I mean, I don't know how much worry I can put into it. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm building something that who knows how many times I'm ever going to use it. Maybe once, twice, 20, 200. You know, will I be living in this thing someday? I don't know. How many miles is this thing really going to see? So maybe I'm worried about it too much. Maybe not. But I definitely am concerned about it. So here is my little fan box right here. It's going to be kind of at an angle, and that'll also help with the water runoff, so the water won't be pooling. But I'm working on getting, you know, a frame for the fan box, and this is the bottom skin. So bottom skin, front skin, side skins, top skins. We're going to try and, you know, do all the skins before we get this thing glued in place. But that's really next to ask, is to get that glued in place. Because once we get that glued in place, then we can start working on all the skins around it and hopefully somehow get some structure in there. I think I'm going to do a like a 1x4 or a 2x4 in this area going across to give me some structure up in here, because this is just one piece of plywood, and I don't think that's really going to be strong enough to try and fight the twisting and warping and stretching and pulling and pushing. So I think I'm going to reinforce that there. I might do the same thing up here, but we've got the cutout for the fan box, so that wouldn't really help unless I did like a 1x8 and notched it out. I don't know how structural it's going to be at that point. And I probably need to add in some screws here to go into the wood on the upper half. I did some 1x2s in here, and I probably need to drill and screw and bolt and get an anchor on this side to kind of sandwich it and try to stiffen everything up as much as possible. You know, the stiffer everything is, the better. That's what she said. So, you know, the more we get it strengthened and reinforced and stiff, the happier the wife's going to be. So we got to work on that and see what we can do. But I'm kind of wish I hadn't done that now. I'm kind of debating on just going ahead and just doing one solid sheet of plywood across, because that would really strengthen everything up. That's why I put the ribs in. And again, you know, because we're going to have a hinge here, this door is not going to be a structural member, so we're relying on the rest of this rib. We're relying on this corner, and I see that now as being a weak point because there's really nothing to keep it together once the roof, you know, is ending. So really worried about that, but what can we do? We've got our design going. I've debated back and forth about deleting the fan box, but then, okay, what am I going to do with this cutout now? I've already made the door face. You know, what am I going to do with that? Oh, I could turn it into some weird looking storage thing. Still might do that, but, you know, we've already got the fan box. We're just going to keep going, and we'll see what we end up with. If it really gets bad, maybe I will cut it out. Who knows, man? Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. So at the moment, we're just going to keep working on the fan box and, yep, see what we get. We're going to poop and see what lands in the bowl. So thanks for watching.